Many years ago, I did this block as a group project for our guild. It's called the Triple Four Patch, and this finishes at 12 inches. We saw this quilt on the cover of a magazine, and I think it was American Patchwork and Quilting. I couldn't tell you what year it was, but we decided we would all get together and swap blocks and make this quilt. And I think there were probably about 12 of us, and all the quilts just turned out beautifully, and so many people laid them out in different designs. So it's called the Triple Four Patch, and you'll have a code here that you can scan if you ever want to view this video again. Here is the diagram, and then here is just a sample layout of 35 blocks. There are 3 patches. The first one, patch A, is a 1.5 inch finished square. And so we cut our pieces 2 inches by 2 inches. And here is the AccuQuilt die you can use if you have it and if you want to make the patches. In this demo today, we're going to be strip piecing these. These are the small 4 patches here. Patch B is a 3 inch finished square. We'll cut the squares 3.5 inches. Here is the die. If you have AccuQuilt, you can use that. Patch C is a 6 inch finished square. We'll cut 6.5 inch squares. And here is the AccuQuilt die if you're using that. So the first thing we'll do is, if you are cutting patches, you will make 4 of these 4 patches. And we are going to do strip piecing to make the 4 patches. If you're looking at grids, this is a 2x2 grid. How you get your triple 4 patch is, here is the first 4 patch, here is the second 4 patch, and the entire block is the third 4 patch. So it is a 4 patch block on a 2x2 grid. Here are the fabrics I've chosen for this block. I'm going to be using this collection of fabrics a lot because I figure if I make a bunch of blocks out of the same collection, then the quilt will be cohesive. Now, I like sampler blocks and I like all the different colors, but I want to try having one quilt made from an entire collection using sampler blocks, if that makes any sense. This collection is from Moda. The designer is Primitive Gatherings, and the collection is called Garden Gatherings, and there'll be a link to that in the description below the video. So you'll be seeing this collection a lot. There are 40 different fabrics in the collection. I've chosen for the 4 patch units a light and a dark, so it will stand out when you put them together. And then this is the background. Now to strip piece, we're going to take the 2 strips and sew them together like this. And you'll need to be careful that you don't stretch these as you piece them. Just let the feed dogs do their thing and take the fabric in. And then I'll press this and we'll come back and subcut them. Okay, I pieced this together. I just cut mine 18 inches because I had a fat quarter. I just cut off the edge. But you can cut yours at 17 inches, so I'm going to have some extra. I pressed the seam open and I gave it a lot of good starch. Now you want to put it on your mat and make sure you're pretty straight and you're not curved in any kind of way. So straighten that out if you have a problem with that. Usually pressing can do it. Now what we're going to do is subcut these into 8 segments that are 2 inches. I'm going to show you how I cut these long pieces or subcut these long pieces. I use my ruler this way, and I take one of the long lines and match it along the seam line. So I'm going to first cut off this edge here so I'll have a straight edge to cut from. Cut that off, and then let's flip it around. And I'm going to start, this ruler's 12.5 inches, and I'm going to cut 2 inch segments. So I'm going to start at the 12 inch mark. So I'm lining up the 12 inch mark over here, and then the middle line, this is 3 on here, along this seam line. And I'm going to make my first cut. Then I'm going to pick up the ruler, and what I do is I hold my finger on this edge, and I pick up the ruler like this, so it kind of, I know that light's getting in the way, but you have like a little lever here, and then I slide it over and put it on the 10 inch mark. So we went from 12 inches, we subtract 2, and there's our first cut. Pick up the ruler, slide it down, and we put it on the 8-inch mark. 6 inches, 4 inches, and 2 inches. What this does is it gives you one edge that you're always cutting off. So that edge is always going to be the same. Also, you don't have to pick your ruler up and reposition your ruler and move your cut piece out from underneath. So I think it gives me more accurate cuts. So I have 2, 4, 6 here. So I need to cut 2 more from here. So 2 times 2 is 4. I'll put it on the 4-inch mark here and the 3-inch in the center. This is the end. And then make my mark on my cut on my 2-inch. And now I have my 8 segments. We'll put these together like this to make our 4 patch. Use a 1/4-inch seam line and then press your seams open. Here are the 4 patches. The first 4 patches are done. Now we're going to take 2 of them and make our second 4 patch. If you look at the diagram here, the light patches go along the diagonal. So let's line these up like this. Then we'll put our squares here and piece our second 4 patch. So these 2 together and these 2, press them, then sew the rows together. And you're going to do that twice. So you'll have 2 of these. Now we've done the double 4 patches, so we're ready to make the triple 4 patch. We'll keep our light fabrics in line here and then add our 6.5-inch squares. Piece the top 2 together, then the bottom 2, press, and then piece the top to the bottom, and your block is finished. And here is your triple 4 patch. Thanks for watching.